Hello, Mr. Aplin from the Henry Beaufort School here. I'd like to talk through the class charts that we are using to track our home learning for this year. So class charts effectively replaces the student handbook in terms of the detail of the level of homework that we're doing, and it's also a great tool for looking at when home learning is due. The other benefit to having it online is that we can give much more structure for young people and support for them with sheets and attachments that they may not have had or they may have lost between being set that home learning by their teacher and getting home to complete that home learning. The website is ClassCharts.com, and you can just Google that to begin with, and you'll notice there are 3 different logins here. Teacher for our staff to log in, parent, which we've actually disabled for our purposes, and the student login, which I'll go through in a moment. The reason we've disabled the parent login is that we want the engagement to be between the student and the teacher, as it always has been, and the teacher will be setting the home learning and going through that in the class, and then it will be for the student to then log in at home and look for that home learning and complete the home learning. The handbook is still really useful because it goes about setting when that is due, and the details of that will be recorded by the student in each of the lessons. But we won't be setting a parent login for this because we want the engagement with the student. But here is how you as a parent can support your child with their home learning. So as you log in here, what you can do is your pupil code, which will be in their student handbook or is on the is in their school email, they will put that into here and then they will log in. Just briefly, what I'm going to do is just show you if your child is saying that they don't know what their pupil code is, they can find it by going through to the school website. So if they were to open up the school website browser, the Henry Beaufort School up here, and then they were to click on the 3rd one across, which is the little keypad, and then that will go through to the website, the online systems. And as you go down onto that page, there'll be a space for the remote login, okay? And students for remote access, click here. Now, all of the other information on how to access their emails, etc., Teams, can be found on this same page for the students. So click on that one there, and then what that'll do is that'll load a page that looks like this portal. And these are my details. This is the name and then the password that your child would use when they're in school to access any of the school computers which they have done for their IT lessons and other lessons as well. Once they've logged into there, what they then do is they will then notice this page, which is their home page on any web browser. And you'll see here there are many things that they can access. There are lots of links here about their well-being. Their emails are here. And they should have an email with the link to their ClassCharts account, and then there's also a link to ClassCharts in case they're not sure. Many other really useful websites that our staff use as well. So once they click onto ClassCharts, what that'll do is that'll take you back to that page that I showed you a moment ago. Now I have a student that I've impersonated called Jack Aplin, and I've put his code in here, which is a short digit. I'll just show you that there, and that is then available for them to log in. And then I use my child, so Jack Aplin's date of birth, which is the 24th of June 2008, and then I click login. And that's how a student would then log in to their ClassCharts account, and what you'll see then is the first page that comes up is their list of homework. And here there are 2 things for Jack to be completing this week. The first one is some data presentation for his geography, and there's also times tables, rock styles for maths. It says here the kind of estimated completion time, so that's really useful for you as a parent just to keep an eye on how long is that taking my child to do. And also we can issue it, look at it in different ways. So we can look at it by the issue date rather than the due date. And you can also change here the time scale. So we're still looking at the same times, but we've just gone back to August. So you'll then see that another one, so there was another geography homework there that was in that to-do list. What Jack will do is, if he wants a bit more information, because he'll have all of this from his handbook already, but he can click on this little icon here, and then what it will do is it will give much more information around what he should be doing during that piece of home learning. There'll also be links, so I can click on that link there, so it's directly going to the Oak National Academy, and then there's also some other information. That same link is there as well. Once Jack has done that, he can actually manage his home learning as well, and he can say, I've completed that task. And you'll notice then that it changed from the to-do list and it went down into his completed home learning. The teachers in school will be submitting the home learning in lessons, as they've always done, and it will then come up whether it was one of these three categories. So once Jack's teachers are happy that they've also seen that, it will end up in the submitted box. So you as a parent can ask, show me what's been submitted. You could also just ask the child to show you what has been completed. So it's really useful to then look at what's show by due date. So in the to-do list, we've done the one there now apparently because we ticked it. Please don't just let children tick their home learning; they actually have to give it a go. And if I just move that one back up to the top, that's in our to-do list again then there. So that would show us in order what we've got to do. And if I had multiple pieces of homework, which if I just change the issue date, you can actually see here that we can filter by some of these tabs. So which one are due first? So here, my geography is due, and then that one there. That one's actually a historic piece of home learning, and then some timetables, rock stars is due next week. Okay, so there's multiple different ways we can look at it. Other features of this platform that may be useful is have a look at the classes, and if you as a parent wanted to know who the particular teachers were, so as you can see in geography it comes up with Mrs. MacArthur for Jack, but actually you can see that he has two teachers, myself and Mrs. MacArthur. Similarly in the maths, you can see that Mr. Applin, but it's also Mr. Newman as well. So if you wanted to get in touch for any reason, this might be a useful place for you to work out who the teachers are, but it is down to Jack to log you in and show you and keep track there. There are many places to see the timetable, but this is just for Jack. You're just keeping an eye and you can click on which days he's got what timetable and it comes up all there for his information. But this is primarily used for our home learning and making sure that students are supported effectively with their home learning. And they understand what they have to do, and there's much more scope with the online system to provide additional detail that we would not be able to do where a student would write this in their planner. So we feel it's a really useful tool to enable students to make even more progress and support their home learning more effectively. If you do have any questions about home learning, I'd love to hear from you and how we can support you further, and my email is on the website